Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. Welcome back to another commentary video for League of Legends, and in this game we're going to be taking a look at AP Corki. Yes, an unusual build, but one that is actually very strong right now. This is taken from one of our team ranked games, team ranked 5s. In this game, Spreakway will be jungling Elise for us. FallenAsylum is going to be playing Corki in the mid lane, and this is, again, AP Corki, not AD Corki. I'll be supporting as Sona. Varus Nox will be playing as AD Caitlyn, and High Legend will be playing as Shen in the top lane. Then, on the other team, we're going to be up against Karthus, Jarvan, Rumble, Leona, and Vayne on their side of the equation. So why this particular setup? Why the AP Corki? What makes this work? Well, it's based upon the fact that Corki was buffed in a recent patch, not the 3.10 patch. I believe it was the 3.9, but don't quote me on that. Corki was buffed, and the main thing that they did was they decreased his mana costs. They decreased his mana costs by a lot, particularly on his Missile Barrage. Now his missiles only cost 20 mana, and that is very low. Almost laughably low. It used to be 40, so they cut this in. I believe it was 40 in the past. I'd have to look back at this, but it was significantly higher, and the missiles only cost 20 mana at all ranks. What this now means is that Corki doesn't have to do anything in terms of itemizing mana or anything like that. He can do a bit of a straight damage build, and Corki actually has really good poke as an AP caster in this role. So this is what we've done with our team comp. Our team comp is built around having this Corki in mid lane. What we have is the important parts of this team comp is Corki in mid, Caitlyn as our AD, because Caitlyn gives us a way to poke down towers. One of the disadvantages of Corki as an AD is his range is quite low. It's only 5 something. Where is it? 550. That's not all that great. Kate's is 700, I believe. No, 650. 650. So this gives us a way to poke down towers. We need a support that gives us some kind of lockup, some kind of disengage. We have Sona for that role here on this team. We also played this with Nami for her tidal wave and Janna with her monsoon. But those are sort of the important pieces, and then we can mix and match the other roles. Shen, we just need somebody who can 1v2. We've also played Renekton in this role before. K-Hop is actually on vacation right now, so High Legend is playing top for us. And the jungler just needs to be something that can kind of, fulfill that sort of tankish role. And we're going to be using Elise for that role in this game. But we have also used Zac in that role. And we actually used Dr. Mundo in another game in that role, and it seemed to work pretty well. Okay, so let's look at Corki here. We've got a matchup of Corki against Karthus. We've also swapped the lanes. We have 2v1 in top, and we have 1v2 in bottom lane, so keep that in mind. Let's look over at Corki's stuff. It's been a while since Corki was played all that much. It actually has a pretty good matchup here against Karthus. Corki can really take advantage of Karthus in lane, excuse me, and should be able to poke him pretty easily. First, I'll highlight the passive. Corki's basic attacks deal additional true damage equal to 10% of his total attack damage. This is one reason why you would think, well, why would you play Corki as AP? Because you're kind of wasting his passive. Well, that's certainly true, but his other abilities work quite well. If I highlight his Q here, Phosphor Bomb, 80 mana, deals magic damage to enemies in a target area. The blast also reveals the area and champions hit for 6 seconds, does not reveal stealth. Now, this does have an AP ratio. What it is, I don't know, because Fallen only has 3 AP right now, but note that let's see. Okay, he's got 3 AP, he's getting +2, so it's got some kind of decent ratio. Anyway, we'll get back to this in a minute because we're going to be setting up a gank here. So here comes Spreakway. He has double buff, going to be coming out down here. Fallen has hit on the Phosphor Bomb. Spreakway's going to repel in. Can he hit on that Cocoon? Yes, he does, and that's first blood, taken rather easily. Karthus, note that Karthus did not have Exhaust. He chose to take Ignite instead. Most Karthuses take Exhaust for that very reason. And did Karthus have his wall scaled? No, he did not. Typically, Karthus does not pick Wall of Pain until level 4. And that's the same thing that's happened here. So, was extremely vulnerable to a gank. Should have at least tried to flash out of that, though, in order to avoid giving up first blood. So, we have now taken first blood, and Fallen has already gotten an advantage off of that. So, that will help us out quite a bit. Alright, as I said, note the Phosphor Bomb is scaling this up first. And note the Valkyrie is being skilled up second. Yeah, not putting any points in Gatling gun. So let's continue to highlight these skills and look at them. So Phosphor Bomb is sort of half of your poke. You sit back and poke away with this. Deals damage to champions. It's a relatively easy skill shot to land. Valkyrie is Corki's escape. Corki surges to target location Also does deal magic damage per second to enemies left in the fire along his trail. So normally when you play Corki, you put 1 point in this skill and leave it there. But because we're doing AP Corki, Fallen's actually going to scale this up second because it deals magic damage. And it also has its own AP ratio. Looks like it's right around 0.5. This one looks like it's around 0.5 or 0.6 as well. Nothing great, nothing spectacular, but not terrible. The Gatling gun we're not really going to be using. That's because AP Corki is all about poking from a distance. Gatling gun requires you to get very, very close. Gatling gun fires at all targets in front of him for 4 seconds, deals physical damage and reduces armor, so it is an armor shred. However, this requires you, as I said, to be in melee range. You have to be right up next to them, and it deals physical damage. And we're not really going to be doing too much in terms of physical damage on Corki in this build. Well, now you might say, well, wait a minute, Fallen just picked up 2 longswords, so he's obviously, building some kind of attack damage. Well, he is, but this is a little bit deceptive because he's building this towards Spirit of the Elder Lizard, and we'll get back to that in a minute. There's actually a gank coming out here in bottom lane. Their team will get the first kill. Spreakway is going to flash and pick up their Vayne, though. Next, it's now 1v1 between Elise and Leona. Unfortunately, there are a lot of minions aggroed here as well, and the minions are adding a lot of damage this early in the game, but it is a support Leona. Will Spreakway be able to get this? And, well, Spiderling, go Spiderling! Yes. is going to pick up that kill in the duel, and it turns into a 2-for-1 overall in that particular little exchange there. So High Legend falls, but we do get a 2-for-1, and we get 2 kills on our jungle Elise. And now the Karthus ult's going to come out, but Spreakway managed to get back into the fountain just in time. He had just hit 6 and manages to get out. Alrighty, anyway, so the one skill I haven't highlighted yet, and the skill that actually makes this AP Corki build work, is his ultimate, his Missile Barrage. 20 mana cost, Corki fires a missile that collides with the first enemy it hits. Each missile deals area magic damage, stores another missile every 10 seconds, can hold up to 7. Every third missile will be a big one, deals 50% extra damage. So Corki will stock up missiles. You can see how many missiles he has. Right now there's a big one loaded, and he'll stock up to 7 of these. And the basic idea behind AP Corki is you build Spirit of the Elder Lizard first, which is what Fallen's building towards, and then you sit back and you poke with Phosphor Bomb, and you poke with his Missile Barrage. And that's the basic idea behind this build. It's really obnoxious, it's a really irritating build, but it's also a very effective build. And we'll just watch here the laning and watch how Karthus kind of gets poked away with this. But let's see, does Fallen have enough to get his Spirit of the Elder Lizard yet? Let's see, I believe he has enough because he's got 1,000 gold. Let's see if he finishes that right here when he goes back to base. And let's see, where is it? Yes, just has enough. So he has now finished it. Let me highlight the item to show. 35 attack damage, 10% cooldown reduction, and the 10% CDR is important. I'll get back to that in a second. Health and mana regen, blah, 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 deals more damage to monsters. But the basic thing is basic attacks and spells that don't inflict damage over time deal 18 bonus true damage over 3 seconds on hit. This is sort of the core item in this build. It's Spirit of the Elder Lizard and then Liandry's Torment. So every time you hit a Phosphorus Bomb, you get the burn effect from Elder Lizard. Anytime you auto attack, burn effect from Elder Lizard. Anytime a missile goes off, burn attack from Elder Lizard. So you're getting that bonus damage. So let's just watch the laning here back and forth between Corki and Karthus. Up to this point in time, not that big a deal. Oh, one other thing, by the way, AP Corki mid farms like a beast because all he has to do is Valkyrie over the wall, shoot a Phosphor Bomb and a missile, and he clears the Wraith camp. And he can do it incredibly fast. Because it's, like I said, it's so easy to go over the wall with that Valkyrie. Anyway, their team brought their jungler bot. They did get that bottom turret. We had been making some progress in top, but had not gotten this tower yet. In any case, they were now then going over to fight for our blue. Let's keep an eye on that. Spreakway is getting engaged on by 3 of them, but here comes the Shenalt going to come out. Meanwhile, Fallen is just poking over the wall. Now he's going to Valkyrie in, going to get 1 kill. Now we're going to get a 2nd kill onto Leona, and now Jarvan's the only one left, and again, he's being slowed with that. Oh, well, actually, no, he's not getting slowed, but he's getting that burn effect. Excuse me, it's the same little particle effect as the red buff, but it actually does not slow. What it does is it just has that burn effect. Deals bonus true damage over time on hit. Now Fallen's going to pick that up. So that was a 3-for-1 and a really good exchange for us. Plus, Fallen was able to pick up 2 more kills there. The other one went on to Spreakway, I believe, and High was able to get a couple of 3 assists there in that fight. So pretty good. As I mentioned, the wave clear, really good. AP Corki farms like a beast. Waves clears like crazy. You just use his skills. There's a missile. and Missile and Phosphor Bomb just allow you to burn down the minions incredibly fast. Okay, so why is the 10% CDR on Spirit of the Elder Lizard so good? And watch how fast this Wraith camp goes down once again. Valkyrie over the wall, Missile, Phosphor Bomb, and yeah, the camp dies in like 1 second. So why is the 10% CDR so good? Well, the idea is you get 10% cooldown reduction from Spirit of the Elder Lizard. You go 9-0-21 and get 10% cooldown reduction from the utility tree by taking all of the cooldown stuff in the utility tree. So that's 20%. And then blue buff gives you another 20% and 40% CDR. So missile spam. The idea is you can stock up the missiles. Let's see, he's storing a new missile every 7 seconds. I believe this is affected by CDR, and then just poking away, firing those missiles, firing away, clearing creep waves, poking people off, using the Elder Lizard burn effect over and over again. Used it to shove the lane, used it to harass. That's the idea behind this. And so Karthus has not really been able to do that much in this game for that very reason. Okay, we have another fight going on in top lane. We have baited them into a fight in top while we had our jungler here. We're going to use the ult, and then watch this. Oh, going to slow it down. Oh, the Sona auto attack will pick up Leona on the back end of that fight. But yes, we knew that their team was in this tribe rush. We baited them to come and fight us in the tribe rush because we knew we had jungle support from Spreakway right there. Meanwhile, they're still pushing in bottom lane, which means we're going to need to take this tower quickly and then come back and deal with that. Meanwhile, Fallen still farming away in mid. Look that he is now, about 25 CS up on Karthus, and that's largely because he keeps taking this Wraith camp over and over again. Look, I mean, look, the Wraith camp goes down in literally 2 seconds. Not even exaggerating right there. Goes down so very fast, and you just keep doing that, and you poke away at the other person. And Karthus actually, where did Karthus go? He went top for a second. Oh no, never mind, he's still there mid. Okay, so Spreakway hits the cocoon, and now they're going to look to push on this mid tower, which is going to be very difficult for Karthus to hold. Because why? Well, their team has 2 in top, so that means they're not here to defend, to push in mid, and should be able to get this without any further trouble. And down it goes. The cocoon, oh, just barely misses. Would have been another sign to go in if that had happened. Their team has also made a little bit of a mistake. They had 2 in bottom lane, and they did not use that opportunity at any point in time to do dragon. Now, they've swapped the lane, and they've set their bottom lane, their duo lane, to top, which means now we have a free dragon here. We've actually got it pinked and had vision, so we'll go ahead and take that. But their team, having 2 in bot for so long, probably could have gotten a dragon earlier, and ended up not doing so. So a bit of a mistake on their part. There's the wave clear again. Minion wave goes down really fast, and that burn effect from the Elder Lizard, dealing more damage to their Jarvan players. So yeah, Fallen just going to clear the wave, grab the Wraiths, and back to lane again. And you might notice how his farming stats are so high. We did another game after this one where the game only lasted 25 minutes, and he had like 290 minion kills or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, so Missile Barrage deals its initial damage, and then that burn effect. Again, the damage is not too high just yet, but that's because Fallen is sitting on 3,100 gold, and he probably should go back and spend that gold at some point. In any case, once he starts to build some actual AP, his skills will start to become a lot more dangerous. And I think he's finally going to go back and pick something up here. I believe that he's going to get Boots and Leandries. Anyway, there is a fight being engaged in top. This was a mistake made by myself and Varus Nox. We got engaged on right there. I missed the ultimate on Vayne. I thought that hit her, but it actually did not. Varus is very low. Shen wanted to ult, Hai wanted to ult, but could not because he was being chased. Karthus ult's going to come out. It's not going to be that useful. Meanwhile, Spreakway has jumped in here, so Spreakway to the rescue. Going to come in here. And, oh, look at that. Leona actually stepping on a trap. That's going to be 1 kill. Now, can we chase this down and get a second kill? Here's Fallen coming over from the left side. Is he going to be able to pick this one up? There's the missile slow and the burn effect. The cocoon misses. Oh, where is the Valkyrie? Come on. Oh, there we go. Vayne's going to tumble into that last missile barrage. So going to be able to get that one. Note that Fallen does now have Leandry's Torment. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, that is the other core item to this build. The core build is Spirit of the Elder Lizard and then Leandry's. You can kind of go where you want from there, but those are sort of the 2 key items. And again, it's because both of them give that passive burn effect over time. Cocoon hits. Oh no, it didn't hit. Never mind. But look at how much damage Karthus is taking here as he gets burned by Elder Lizard and gets burned by Leandries. Let me go ahead and highlight this here. 50 AP, 300 health, magic penetration, then dealing spell damage applies damage over time that deals bonus magic damage equal to 2% of current health per second. So very similar to the Elder Lizard. You just burn them down over time. Let's try to look at some of these AP ratios, shall we? 62 AP. Phosphor Bomb deals 31. Well, that's easy enough math. That is a 0.5 AP ratio. And the Valkyrie does not have as high. It is only 0.25, so that's lower. Anyway, we do have another fight right here. This is a fight being set up by me getting caught, essentially, while I'm warding. A nice Valkyrie out of that Leona ultimate. Hai is going to chase down, come in and help us out. I'm going to flash over the wall, and now we are going to continue this fight. Jarvan's going to jump out of here. Fallen is chasing him, continuing afterwards. Going to Valkyrie in, and let's see, is Fallen going to be able to get this kill? Doesn't look like it. Meanwhile, over here, Vayne is continuing to run away, and we're all chasing, but she's run into our base, and that is not going to be enough, and that sniper from Caitlyn, ace in the hole, will pick off that kill. So our team's in pretty comfortable shape right now. We're ahead about 4,000 gold, and we were able to take the first dragon. We're up a number of kills. And right here, let's see, Fallen going to look to engage right there, is a rocket, another rocket, Phosphor Bomb, Gatling gun comes out, and going to pick off that kill without too much difficulty right there. Poor Karthus, yeah, I'm not sure what he was thinking, but he probably should have just backed and defended the tower, would have been my guess. And now Fallen, Valkyrieing over the wall to go and steal this blue buff, goes down very quickly and has now taken their blue. Don't underestimate the Valkyrie either. When Corki has this much CDR, as poor Leona is still continuing to get chased down here, and Streakaway does have red buff, so he is going to be slowing on his auto attacks. I actually get the kill there, not really trying to steal, but just DPSing and getting the kill. As I was saying, don't underestimate the Valkyrie when you're playing this AP Corki. When you have max CDR, the Valkyrie's on an 8-second cooldown, 8.4-second cooldown. Now, the damage is not that great, but you have Ezreal-like mobility, if that makes sense. You are almost as mobile as Kassadin when you're doing this build because you are able to Valkyrie around just so often. Granted, the damage is not great, but the utility is extremely high, and so you can play very aggressively. So watch Karthus here, once again getting burned down by those missiles, the Phosphor Bombs, and then Fallen can just use his Valkyrie to escape if he gets in trouble. Here's the damage from the missiles. Again, the AP ratio is not great on the missiles. Let's see, 19 out of 64. That's around 0.4, roughly, something like that. I probably should have looked back at this before, but the base damage is quite good. Each missile deals 190 base damage at level 11 when you put 2 points in it. So it's more about that base damage than it is about the scaling there. Granted, it does have some scaling though. It's not terrible. And of course, the physical damage from Elder Lizard is not wasted either because you do have some AD scaling on this missile barrage as well. Plus, keep in mind, you get the true damage from Spirit of the Elder Lizard, 32 true damage, and you get the passive percentage health damage from the burn on Leandries. And as I mentioned before, that's the basic idea behind this. So, Fallen has great mobility. He has great poke. He's got 6 kills. Obviously, he snowballed way ahead. Right now, we knew that Dragon was about to come back up. What are we doing? We're waiting for Dragon to respawn. We don't want to force this, though, because Varus Nox is extremely close to getting his Infinity Edge. We're waiting for him to finish it, and then we were going to look to force a fight after that. So in the meantime, we're going to see another one of the strengths of AP Corki, which is poke. Very good poke. Great in siege situations. Like right there, a missile hits. The initial damage is pretty good, and then the burn hits Karthus and hits Leona as well. There's another missile, and you see the burn effect from Leandries and the Spirit of the Elder Lizard. They do have this pinked. But again, we're just stalling for time. We just want to keep firing off the missiles and the Phosphor Bombs and keep burning them. This is particularly effective because their team does not have any kind of sustained support on their team. You know, there's no Sona, no Soraka, nothing like that. And they're just getting burned off of us over and over again. See, look how low their team is. They just keep getting hit with these missiles and then burned down with that passive effect. Anyway, Varus Nox is on his way, and now we're finally ready to start and take this dragon. If Jarvan wants to try to come over the wall, he's welcome to, but let's see, do they have vision in here? No, they don't actually have vision, so we're going to grab that one, and that's going to put us further ahead. We're now about 5,000 gold ahead in this particular match. So, what is the great weakness of AP? Well, never mind, we actually have another fight here. Streakaway is going to repel in. Does the cocoon land? Yes, it does, and that means Vayne is very dead. Down she goes. Rumble is going to retreat up in this direction, but Varus should be able to deal with that push on our tower. Well, actually, Haven't watched the spectator mode replay before. Didn't realize that Rumble was right there. In any case, though, we get Vayne, and that's the key thing. So what is the weakness of this setup? Well, the weakest thing, that the thing that this AP Corki build does poorly against, is the same thing that like an Ezreal build does poorly against, and that is hard engage. Something that can lock you down, sort of like hard crowd control. This is, of course, a bit of a glass cannon build, as you would expect, as most AP mid laners are. And so, you know, if it's up against like a Malphite hard engage, or something that can just lock you down single target. For instance, if Leona were to hit her full combo onto FallenAsylum, you would die really fast. The idea is you stay safe due to mobility, due to your Valkyrie. So when you know, our team is playing kind of a poke and push, like a poke and split push, well, not necessarily split push. I guess we do have Shen. Like a poke and pushing comp. So the weakness of this team would be hard engage. And their team doesn't really have too much of that. They have Rumble's Equalizer and Jarvan's ult, but that's about it. I don't know. I guess they have Leona as well. If Leona could force an engage on us. Well, you see the one time Leona did force an engage up here on top, it didn't go too well for us. But if they can't do that, they're in very bad shape indeed. Anyway, from here on, the build can go in a lot of different directions. In this particular game, Fallen has chosen to pick up a Void Staff for more magic penetration, and of course Sorcerer's Shoes for even more magic penetration. He has a ton of magic pen right now, 36 flat and then 40% from Void Staff. That's quite a bit. He also has 6 armor pen as well. So he doesn't have much in the way of raw AP, but he's relying on sort of his base stats for damage. Sort of you know, he's dealing close to true damage here because he has so much magic pen. And does their team have much in the way of magic resist? No, they really don't. So he's basically doing true damage on all these skills, which is very scary indeed, with all of the various spell effects that are stacked up. Okay, so Rumble turns the corner. He's going to get hit with a Cocoon and then get hit by a Sona ultimate, and we're going to go ahead and take him down with that. And then we're going to look to go ahead and push this middle lane. Now, it's often not a good idea to use Sona ult to lock up one person, but in this case, we thought it was pretty useful because that would give us a chance to push. At the very least, it would get us this tower. And we were hoping that while Rumble was down, we could look to continue pushing and look to continue going from there. So anyway, we are going to get this tower. It will fall. We will grab the global gold and experience from that. And now we were like, well, we could rotate down to this tower. That would be free. That would be the safest play. But look how badly Vayne got chunked here. We got hit by, I think, a missile and a phosphor bomb. We were like, well, if Vayne is that low, we can keep pushing this because, you know, she's not going to do very well if it comes to a straight-up engage between the two. And then look at the damage Jarvan's taking. Look at that. He loses like a third of his health off of that. And again, that's the idea behind this build. Now, Karthus just got hit with one rocket. And again, he's lost, you know, 20% of his health too. Out comes the Caitlyn ult just for damage. And again, look how low they are. They've been poked off this tower, and there's not much they can do. So what they need to do is hard engage on us, but because they're behind, they can't really do that. Now here they are. They're going to force the engage. They're going to use the Rumble ult. We'll slow this down to half speed so we can watch. Fallen's going to Valkyrie over the wall, which is good positioning on his part. So Karthus will go down first. Now we're going to get the repel out from Elise. Karthus ult comes out. Vayne has popped her ult as well, but we're going to take her down quickly. Another kill for Fallen right there. Meanwhile, Hai is in the back right now, trying to dodge those Karthus Qs. In comes Leona, going to exhaust Varus Nox. Gets Varus very low, but we will take that kill. Another kill picked up by Corki. And at this point, it's pretty academic. Jarvan jumps in. I finally have a chance to use exhaust right there. And guess what? That's it. Yeah, they just decided they didn't want any more part of that, and they surrendered like halfway through the team fight, apparently. So it was like, apparently it was a last-ditch fight on their part, and they just gave up as soon as it started to go badly. But even though they got Varus very low, he didn't have to use his barrier, still had that up. High Legend got low. We did not have to use Stand United either. In fact, we only used Stand United once the entire game. So a really easy game. Really easy game there, but hopefully what it was showing was, in that last fight, the way that we just poked them off the tower. Yes, it's partly because Fallen got really far ahead. Claiming that first blood obviously helped, and if I pull up the gold totals here, he was at 10.3k gold, so he was 4,000 gold ahead of this poor Karthus player, 903 on the game. Yes, obviously it looks better when you get ahead, but it's still a very strong build, and it's a very annoying build to play against too, because it's like an AP version of Ezreal. You just don't fight them if they need to hard engage on you, and that's very difficult to do when Valkyrie is on such a short cooldown, and you just sit back and you fire your missiles and fire your phosphor bombs away, and you poke, and they're getting burned away with Elder Lizard and Leandries, and it works really well. We have run this team comp in our ranked games, and we're winning these games and winning them very easily. So until we see somebody able to stop this, we're going to keep running this setup because it's working really well. Anyway, so once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this chance to check out a different build, a new approach to playing Corki. It has not caught on in the general public yet, but I think it will soon. So you might have a chance to get in some easy games here if you can take advantage of this before knowledge of it becomes more widespread. Anyway, until next time, have a great week. See you guys later. Until then, take care.